the largest humanitarian agency in the world addressing world hunger. So no matter what you think of basketball, you ought to talk about this guy as a world-class humanitarian. Here's Jim Morris. Industry leaders, and nobody better as an industry leader, not just from Indianapolis, but the NBA and the Pacers and Pacers Sports and Entertainment. Jim Morris, Vice Chairman, Pacers Sports and Entertainment. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, wonderful. Thank you very much for doing this. And notwithstanding your team not being in the conference finals or the NBA finals, good season?
Yeah, we had a great season. The trade with Oklahoma City, where we picked up Victor Oladipo and Sabonis, was just terrific. Kevin Pritchard had another good offseason, picking up 2 or 3 more really good players. Great young men, love being in Indianapolis. Our fans love them. We gave Cleveland as good a run for 7 games as anybody could. Our attendance was terrific. People are really excited about the Indiana Pacers.
Do you have one of those countdown clocks for the 2021 All-Star Game, or is it too far away? You're excited about it, though.
We are. It's a big deal, and to bring it to our city, that year we'll, within a 12, 13-month period, we will have the NCAA Final Four for all 3 divisions in the state of Indiana. We'll host Division I here. We'll have the NBA All-Star Game. We'll have the College Football Championship here that year. We'll have the Big Ten Football Championship here that year, the Big Ten Basketball Tournament for men and women. So it'll be an extraordinary year. But we have our committees organized. It's an expensive proposition. The payoff is enormous, but we have to raise a lot of money. And all the civic leaders and the public officials have come together to put together a team to raise the money to do the job. Indianapolis is one of those places where the Pacers support the Colts support the Pacers, the Speedway supports everyone, the NCAA is here, and we're all for each other. And so when something big comes along, it's something we all share and we all own.
Maybe you just answered it. Eli Lilly, amateur sports capital of the world, NCAA, Pacers, Colts, Super Bowl 2012. You can name the history of things in Indy. And from an international perspective, it's basically a best practices template. Mm-hmm. A lot of cities want to do it. Very few cities do. What's so special about Indy? How did you accomplish all that?
Well, I would say in the last 30 years, we've had 400-500 national, international championships. The professional teams are doing well. The Speedway is headed in the right direction. We've seen this as an opportunity to tell the world about our city's reputation. We've seen this as an opportunity to change the economics of our community. Today, I can remember when Indianapolis didn't have any hotels or any restaurants downtown. Last year, USA Today said Indianapolis was the #1 convention city in America. Today, there are 80,000 people in central Indiana employed in sports, hospitality, tourism, restaurants, etc. And we've found this as a tremendous community building exercise. We hosted the Pan American Games in 1987, and we had 40,000 volunteers who came together in a community endeavor, people from every conceivable background, to do something together to make our city different and better. And this has worked. We've found a great way to build community, to inspire our young people, and we've kept a huge focus on our downtown so that the facilities, the events belong to everyone in central Indiana, wherever you may live. And it's worked.
Rumor has it, says the bio, 50 years ago you were chief of staff and administrative assistant to the mayor of Indianapolis. Seems like only yesterday, but you, among more than anybody, would understand the necessity for public-private partnerships. This region has set the standard for public investment. What do you say to people that say you shouldn't spend any public money in sports?
Well, I would say that basically cities compete. Indianapolis competes with every city in the world. It used to be only in the U.S., but now we compete with Hong Kong and Tokyo and London. We compete for bright young people. We compete for investment capital. We compete for jobs. We want to be a place that people want to come to. The success of Indianapolis in the long term is based on Eli Lilly and Company, this remarkable pharmaceutical company recruiting the best, most brilliant young scientists in the world to come. And why will they come? Well, they'll come because life is good, because schools are good, healthcare is good, we have a great symphony, sports, opportunities for their kids. And a city our size, to have these extraordinary aspirations to become something really special, it takes all of us working together. And the public-private partnership, philanthropy, charity, generosity of people across the board, the willingness of public leaders to make investments with the private sector, it has transformed our city, and the return has been enormous. It's contributed to a growing tax base. It's contributed to a place that has a much different reputation today, and it's a place that very bright young people, want to come and live.
So, interesting legacy from your perspective with your other hat as the Pacers, Indiana Pacers Sports Entertainment co-chair. ABA team merged in. The Colts moved from somewhere else. It hadn't had really an expansion per se, but the Pacers have been really the fabric of the Indianapolis community. Talk about that for
Sure. Well, 50 years ago when the ABA Pacers came into being, some remarkable citizens stretched hard to make it happen. We had a great run. Bobby Leonard, 3 ABA champions, led to 4 teams from the ABA going into the NBA. And the NBA Pacers made Indianapolis a big league city. And we did it downtown where all the benefits accrued to the city. And it gave, I think, the Colts confidence that they could come and be successful here. The Speedway, obviously, the largest sporting event in the world. That we had the wherewithal and the focus and the commitment and the passion to get it done.
And as far as the Pacers are concerned, how does the NBA make it easier, does it, for a mid-market, small-market team to coexist?
Well, it's tough. I mean, if you look at, we compete with Los Angeles and New York and Miami and Chicago.
But by the way, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago successfully on the court, I might add.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, we pay the same salaries that they pay, but you look at their local cable deals that are 20, 30 times bigger than ours. We've had this good civic partnership that's made it possible, but the NBA has been supportive of revenue sharing and has made it easier for small market teams to make it.
Future NBA, wave your magic wand. What's the one thing you want to change, the NBA?
Well, I'm excited about the NBA. I think it's as strong today. Attendance is up. Our television ratings are up. Our attendance is very strong. Our fans are excited about our team. Obviously, these issues of one and done and young people and how all this works together, I think is something that we need to resolve over time. But I'm very bullish on the future of the NBA. We're lucky. Adam Silver is as good a guy and as competent a commissioner and understands all of the dynamics, and he's an honorable man. So we've got great leadership at the top. Our franchise has strong ownership, so it's all headed in the right direction.
I'm saving the most important, to me anyway, question for last. You were executive director of the United Nations World Food Program, the largest humanitarian agency in the world, assessing and dealing with world hunger for a long time. Very significant part of your world. Obviously, why'd you do it? Comfortable about doing it, but what's your perception of philanthropy in the world of sports today?
Well, I think that Our owners are very generous. Our owners, by and large, fall in love with their communities. Herb Simon owns the Pacers because he knows it's good for Indianapolis and wants it to be of great benefit to our community. And his sense of ownership is that everybody who lives in Indiana, in fact, owns the Pacers. And this is a community with a partnership mentality. We help each other. For a city our size to do extraordinary things, we have to come together. There was a point where we had 120 companies in Indianapolis contributing 2 to 5% of pre-tax profits for charitable purposes, and it transformed our city. But a sharing mentality, not being selfish, caring about everybody across the board, sort of builds the reputation of the city, of the franchise, and we're all in this together. And I think you would find that our philanthropy is widespread, as is many of professional sports, but it pays off. People have confidence and respect and appreciate the generosity and the sharing mentality, and sharing is really about caring and about building a community, and it works.
Key to mid-markets behaving as a big market. We're all in this together. You heard Jim Morris. Thank you very much, my friend. Really
Thank
appreciate
you, sir.
When you think